In a world where neighborhoods blur into repetition, where rooftops and walls become a quiet chorus of sameness, something different rises. It doesn't try to blend in. It doesn't soften itself to be acceptable. It stands, confident, unshaken, like a sculpture carved from the future itself. Here, steel is not just a material, it's a voice. Every panel, brushed and reflective, glimmers like a shifting canvas, capturing the colors of the sky as if the home breathes with the day. At sunrise, it glows in a soft, amber hue, like molten metal kissed by the first light. By dusk, it deepens, taking on the mysterious tones of midnight, reflecting stars before they've even appeared. The walls aren't meant to disappear into the landscape, they command it. Not aggressively, not loud, but with the quiet confidence of something built to endure, not to follow trends. There is strength here, but there's also stillness, a serenity woven into the very lines of the design, where the rigid edge of industrial architecture somehow feels calming. Did you know that 70% of homeowners feel their space doesn't reflect their style? Don't be part of that statistic. Subscribe and start designing a home that truly feels yours. It doesn't pretend to be a traditional home. It doesn't echo the cozy cottages or the sprawling suburban mansions that came before. This is something different, something deliberate. Every element is purposeful, from the deep matte black cladding that wraps the structure like a shadow, to the sharp, gleaming steel edges that catch even the faintest glimmer of light. It feels alive, as though it doesn't just sit in its space, it interacts with it. And for the one who calls it home, this isn't simply shelter. This isn't just walls and windows arranged to keep the world out. It's a reflection of identity, a place where modern design and raw material meet to create something that feels almost impossible. A home that is both industrial and warm, commanding yet inviting, bold yet deeply personal. This is not a building you glance at once and forget. This is the kind of home that lingers in your mind long after you've seen it, the one that sparks questions. Who lives there? What life unfolds behind those walls of steel and shadow? A beautiful home is not a dream. It's an art, and you're the artist. Subscribe and start creating spaces that speak to the soul. Because this isn't just a home, it's a statement, a metallic modern barndominium that doesn't whisper. It speaks with every beam, every reflection, every shadow it casts, inviting you to step closer, to look deeper, to wonder what it might feel like, to live inside something so unapologetically different. From the first touch of sunlight, this home feels as though it awakens. The soft glow of dawn stretches across its polished steel skin, and suddenly, the building doesn't just exist. It breathes. Each panel mirrors the changing sky, shifting from cool silver at sunrise to a soft, honeyed gold as the day unfolds. Like the house itself is alive, keeping time with the sun. The matte black cladding doesn't fight for attention. It doesn't need to. It clings to the structure like a perfectly tailored suit, grounding the reflective brilliance around it, offering contrast that feels intentional, calculated. There's a balance here between light and dark, texture and smoothness that makes the home more than architecture. It feels like a piece of living art. Transform your home, transform your life. Subscribe now and let's create spaces you'll love forever. As daylight grows, its presence transforms the land around it. It doesn't simply rest on the soil, as so many houses do. Instead, it elevates its surroundings, turning open fields, rolling hills, or even sparse desert into a curated backdrop. It doesn't hide within the landscape, but it doesn't overwhelm it either. It transforms it, turning simplicity into spectacle. Minimalism, in so many spaces, can feel cold, empty, sterile. But here, minimalism has weight. It has warmth. The long, clean lines of the design don't strip away character. They create it. Every plane, every shadow is purposeful. The design whispers of restraint, yet somehow exudes a quiet power, as though each empty space carries just as much meaning as the walls themselves. The reflective steel, alive with light, creates a dynamic play of shadows across the dark surfaces. So even as the structure stands still, it feels like it's always in motion. The day paints it differently, hour by hour. Morning makes it glow. Noon gives it a cool, commanding presence. At sunset, it feels as though the entire home is ignited, burning softly with the colors of the sky. It's a home that asks you to slow down and see it, because it's never quite the same twice. And in its stillness, in its bold, deliberate form, there's something undeniably human about it. It doesn't just shelter, it interacts, it speaks. It carries a presence that's both strong and comforting, proof that a home can be a sanctuary without losing its edge. Step inside, and everything shifts. The bold, metallic exterior, cool, commanding, untouchable, gives way to a space that feels alive with warmth. The first step lands on oak floors, their golden tones spreading through the room like a soft glow, grounding you, calming you. The subtle grain beneath your feet tells a story of something organic, something timeless, softening the steel beams that rise overhead like quiet guardians. The air feels open, unrestricted. Floor-to-ceiling glass doesn't just let in the view, it dissolves the barrier between inside and out. The horizon stretches endlessly, and in that moment, walls feel more like a suggestion than a boundary. There's a sense of freedom here, as if every inch of the home was designed not just for living, but for breathing. Every detail is deliberate. Shadows cast by the beams aren't accidental. They're part of the architecture's rhythm, changing with the light to create a living mural across the walls and floors. Clean, uninterrupted lines draw your eyes toward the open expanse beyond the glass, guiding your gaze naturally, almost subconsciously, to where earth meets sky. It's modern, yes, but not sterile, not empty. There's a quiet intimacy to the way textures balance each other. The cool touch of steel, the soft grain of wood, the smooth expanse of glass that catches reflections of both. Nothing here is cluttered, yet nothing feels absent. Space itself becomes a luxury, each corner designed to remind you how rare openness can feel in a world that always presses in. Even sound feels curated. The subtle creak of wood beneath each step, the faint hum of air slipping through the open design, and beyond the glass, the sound of wind, faint but present, weaving itself into the home's atmosphere. It feels less like four walls and more like a sanctuary, one that doesn't just shield you from the outside, but invites you to connect with it. This is a home that understands something rare, that modern design isn't about cold perfection. It's about creating space for moments, for silence, for light and shadow to tell their own stories on every surface. It's not built to impress at first glance. It's built to make you feel something every time you step through the door. But here's the secret most never notice. This home, it isn't just a collection of sleek surfaces and strong lines. It's not only about the steel that gleams or the wood that softens it. It's about something deeper, something you feel before you even realize why. This place isn't built around materials. It's built around mood. Every detail is a deliberate note in a symphony designed to be felt, not just seen. The echo of footsteps on polished concrete doesn't sound hollow. It sounds intentional, like each step becomes part of the home's rhythm. The air moves gently, carrying faint whispers of the outside world, but always softened, muted, as though the structure itself is filtering the chaos away. Light doesn't just fall here. It dances. Through the steel slats, sunlight breaks into patterns, shifting and drifting across walls and floors as the hours slip by. In the morning, soft beams stretch long and slow,